Hello and welcome to this edition of Dirt Talk with Drake York, and I've got Sport Modified star and Outlaw Kart star Tyler Rodgers on the show. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
Today's show has been presented by Shad Trucking and Roberto Marquez, attorney at law. Once again, Tyler Rodgers on the show. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Tyler, how were you introduced to the sport of racing?
When we moved here into Chico, one of our friends gave us a frame and cage and said you could run it. So I'm like, okay. So we looked on, I think, eBay or something, and we got an old car, and then we put it together and fell in love with it after then.
How old were you when you started racing?
I was 5 years old, I think.
What type of car and what type of division did you start in?
It was a down tube old sled car and beginner box.
And where did you run your first race at?
Red Bluff.
As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, you run the sport mods now. How much did the Outlaw karts help you prepare for that?
It definitely helped me a lot with like just racing in general, because racing.
How did you get started in the sport mod class you've been running a lot through this year?
I always wanted to run sport mod or just a modified in general. So then one of our friends would just give us a car, and then we put it together and had fun with it. So it's fun right now, but who knows.
What do you enjoy about running the sport modifieds?
It's, I don't know, just running at different track and seeing all the people that I looked up to in like sprint car racing and stuff, like getting to be in the pits with them and racing and have them watch and stuff, I guess.
How many races have you ran this year in sport mod?
2 so far, and then this Friday at Silver Dollar I'm gonna run, so it'll be fun then.
I believe it was 4th of July at Silver Dollar. You were leading the race. Unfortunately, blew an engine, but while you were still leading, what was it like to be able to lead the race?
It was fun. It was kind of nervous because, like, your second start ever in a modified and you're leading a race. It's kind of fun and nervous at the same time.
I was talking about earlier with the go-karts and the sport modifieds. Which car do you prefer more?
I honestly have no idea, but they're both fun. But probably the karts because I've been in them more, but I'm starting to think the modified.
What are the differences between the go-karts and the modifieds?
A lot, because when you're in a modified, what you use the brakes with to set the car in, and with the kart you use the throttle, so it's kind of different.
How many championships have you won, and in what divisions?
I have won one championship at Red Bluff, and that's it.
This year you ran some Outlaw kart stuff, as of course, like you mentioned earlier, the sport modifieds. What's it like to go back and forth between 2 different cars?
It's definitely different. Just one, you're in the sport mod, it's a lot easier to turn, and with the kart, you're constantly, I don't know, different and stuff.
What are your future racing goals?
Get to run the Ironman Nationals in Nevada for the modifieds, and make, I don't think anything else. That's all it, I think.
I know you've been diagnosed with diabetes. How old were you when you were diagnosed with diabetes?
I was 11 and at the end of my 6th grade year.
Has the diabetes affected your racing, if at all?
Yes, a lot. When like it's I don't know, it's just affected me a lot because like I get high and then I have to correct, and then lows really play a factor in it, because then if I'm low, there's or there's a chance I could go into diabetic coma if I get too low, so that's always scary.
What do you like to do when you're not driving a race car?
Hunt, fish, and hang out with friends.
Do you participate in any other sports other than racing?
I did before. I played baseball, soccer, and other than that, and karate for like a year or something.
Who do you look up to in racing?
Probably who I got the car from, Joe Myers, because he helped me out, and a lot of other people that I've always liked, but when I went to the sprint car races, like Sean Becker and John Mithenallert and all them.
What do you think has made you successful in racing?
Sponsors, help, support from family and friends and stuff that
keep going.
That mainly helped me with like the championship and stuff like that.
Now let's get to a fun question here. What type of music do you listen to?
Country and rap and that stuff.
How old are you now, Tyler?
I am 14.
What would you like to be when you grow up if you're not a race car driver?
Professional bass fisherman.
Well, thank you, Tyler.
Thank you.
Today's show has been presented by Smith Racing and Tommy Herset's Vintage Race Cars.